All right, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. By the time you guys are seeing this video, I'm probably not at home. I'm going to be taking a small trip, and I asked this question back before the anniversary had finished around the 4th of August, and I said I'm up for doing a Q&A. I saw a couple comments saying, hey, you know, when the anniversary wraps up, would you be up for doing a Q&A just to see what your thoughts are on certain things? And I said, sure. Why not? And what better way to start off the little, you know, I won't be able to capture anything new until I'm gone, but why not start off with something like this in case you guys have some questions about me that you're interested in. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Starting with number 1, Lucy Firo asks, is it true that you steal your friends' noses and sell them on the black market for a 1-to-5 nose to grapes ratio? All I'm going to say is you need to seek God, my friend. I don't even know what that question means, you nose stealing rat. Abu Beast asks, would you think Legends original characters are exclusive for Legends Festival to fill in the gap for the Part 3 Ultra, since it's a week different compared to the anniversary, or they'll release them as monthly LFs? I think that game original characters are still on the roster. I'm not actually sure why we haven't seen one since the Goku and Bardock from the previous Legends Festival. I'm going to assume there's some sort of logistics in the back end that make things a bit more complicated, because you guys got to remember the Dragon Ball IP is very, very, very restricted. It is very much so. It has a whole bunch of overhead around it. It is a, I don't want to say a protected IP, but let's just say it's not as simple as, hey, I have an idea, and they go ahead and make it. It's got to go through a whole bunch of different checks. And Legends original characters, I'm sure they don't want anything too crazy that would make a questionable impression on the IP itself. So I think game original characters are still on the roster. I don't think they're going to be saving it exclusively for Legends Festival. I still think they're going to up the release schedule for them because it's healthy for the longevity of the game. But I think right now they may be on the back end just as they figure things out. Hashirama the God asks, how busy is your schedule? With work and 2 channels, what does your day consist of? My day-to-day is pretty busy, but I don't want this to sound like I'm, you know, expecting pity or anything. I know what I signed up for. So I'll give you a typical day. Showcase nights are very different from, you know, the regular day-to-day. But, you know, the busiest day is probably just the regular days. Like, I'll just use a Monday, for example. I like to train early in the morning, so I'll wake up around 5:30 in the morning just so I can head off to the gym. I get my training in. I'll be done maybe 7:30. I'll freshen up, whatever, and then get ready for the regular 9 to 5. And I wish I could say 9 to 5 is really 9 to 5, but it really feels more like 9 to 6:30 or 7, especially nowadays. I think you guys may have noticed my clashes are really not that great, and maybe I'm forgetting 1 or 2 things here and there, whether it be a Zenkai buffer or whether it be a Z ability for something. Unfortunately for me, at the company that I work at, the company hasn't won as many contracts this year for certain divisions. My division, unfortunately, in particular. So that means that our team had to downsize, and the expected amount of output did not change. You know, good old capitalism, where you got less people on the field, but you're still expected to produce as much. So unfortunately for me, my workload has grown 2 to 3 times without anything changing. Unfortunately, my team is smaller. We're still expected to do the same amount of work. So I have, you know, I usually get pretty drained at work. There's just a lot going on. But, you know, to continue what I was saying, let's say I wrap up work, you know, maybe I start 8:30. I'll wrap up around 5:30, 6:30. Really depends. And then at that time, I'll work on a Legends video. Maybe I'll be wrapped up around 8:30. And then that's usually just me trying to get like a final meal in. And then I really do my best to try to get some early sleep. But once you weave in being an adult, just being a person, you know, you're somebody's brother, whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you talk about a day-to-day and you list out all of your work responsibilities, oftentimes they don't even discuss just being a regular human. We all need some downtime. We all have other responsibilities. You gotta cook, gotta clean, gotta meal prep, you got laundry to do, you gotta go out and, you know, maybe you got car maintenance, maybe you got an appointment, maybe you gotta see the dentist, maybe you gotta go see, you know, a physiotherapist, maybe you gotta, you know, work out something XYZ. So My schedule is very busy. It is very unfortunate, but thankfully I'm kind of just used to always having something to do. The only thing that stinks for me is I'm so used to having a bunch of things to do that I don't know what to do in my free time anymore. Sometimes I will have an opportunity to just chill out, whether a major project is finished at work, or maybe my brain just turned up to 100 and I'm able to get everything done for a change. Sometimes I'll sit there like, what do I do? Because my brain is just so tuned in with always being productive. Like, oh, you should do a Legends video, or oh, you should do a stream or something. I have a hard time just unwinding. That was a long rambling, completely disregarding a question. I'm sorry, but schedule super busy. I try to make sure I capture everything in the each day, but yeah, it's very busy. So sometimes when I'm tired, odds are it's my regular job that's zapping away all the energy. It really doesn't help when we have new content drop at 2 in the morning. For me, that's probably the worst. But what makes it even worse is when Legends has one maintenance end at 2 a.m., which is usually summons, and then PvP maintenance is at 5 a.m. This messes me up bad, because sometimes when everything's done at 2 in the morning, I'll be able to get the summons, the showcases, everything done by around 4 in the morning, and then I'll be able to get a couple hours of consistent rest, maybe till 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I got 4 hours under the belt. I'm okay. But when they do the 2 and the 5, this messes me up bad, because sometimes I'll finish the summon video, it'll be like 2:45, 3, and then I will try to take a nap. But when you disrupt your nap constantly like that, wake up at 4:30 again, it just messes you up badly. And you may have noticed anytime Legends has a major celebration, it is always like that. So this anniversary kind of messed me up. Either way, very busy schedule. Adam owns 6. Do I have another job besides YouTube? Yes, I am a software engineer. I get asked a lot about that. I am a software engineer. Yes, I do other work outside of YouTube. I consider YouTube just like a hobby kind of thing, which is why I tend to be rather lax on things, because I'm not really seeing it as like a job. I kind of just see it as a hobby, and how I've lived my life has always been revolving around the 9 to 5, and YouTube's just kind of been on the side kind of thing. A lot of people have asked me like, hey, are you ever going to be switching over to doing the full-time YouTube stuff? I'm still not sure yet. It's all up in the air, but maybe one day when I feel a little bit more confident in the whole thing. But yeah, I'm a software engineer outside YouTube. June Gus the Third asks, what 3 characters are you looking forward to the most in Sparking Zero, excluding Super Saiyan 3? My guess is Bardock, Broly, and Vegito, but I could be very wrong. You're actually pretty close. Broly and Vegito are 2 of the characters for sure. I'm actually not sure what else. Broly and Vegito pretty much capture it. In Sparking Zero, they have a lot of their different forms as part of the roster, so who else would I look for? I don't know. I think it's just those 2. Those are the first 2 that come out to mind for me. We'll have to see. VAM03 asks, what do you recommend to someone just starting a career in computer science and software engineering fields? I'm going to graduate in a bit less than a year. For context, my recommendation for everyone that's interested in this field is to get work experience under your belt. At a very minimum, do a project for yourself on the side, because I would argue that work experience is more important than your education in this field. I think your resume, your work experience, and what you've built speaks louder than just having a degree. I think it's important. You may have heard all the time about, self-taught engineers being able to go into the workforce because, they take an online course about it. They start building stuff up, they sharpen their skills, and then they build things. They push a bunch of stuff to GitHub, they have a whole bunch of different commits, they make contributions to certain packages, whatever. And then when it comes to the job, the resume says, hey, I'm a contributor to XYZ, I've built ABC. And then when you get the interview, you talk about it, you show your knowledge. So my recommendation to anybody that's trying to get into the field is to get work experience under your belt. It's very, very important. whether your program offers co-op or you go out and reach out to these companies and say, hey, listen, I'm a first, second, third year student at XYZ university or college. I'm looking to get some work experience, and I was wondering if the company is looking for any interns for the summer or for the year, whatever. For the companies, it's a win-win. They get a young, potentially future full-time employee under their belt. You're also going to be trained with the way that the company does things, and I guess it depends on the country, but some companies actually get a tax benefit from the government for taking an intern. So it's a win-win. And in the worst case scenario, the company will simply say, hey, we're not looking for any interns, but we'll be on the lookout. Showing some initiation, it goes a long way. So that's my recommendation. Get some work experience. Rehan, RBT_Rehan Buster asks, do you think Legends have lost their creativity in making free-to-play units like the Legends Road that tag only has Great Saiyan 1, Yardrat Goku, Future Teen Trunks, Buu Saga, Super Saiyan Gohan? Now they just copy and paste same models for free-to-play units, and also Legends Road units should get some love. Did they lose the creativity for them? I don't think they did, because at the end of the day, I think what matters the most is how good the free-to-play character is, right? If you had to choose between it's a free-to-play character with new animations that isn't as good, or it's a free-to-play character with reused animations but a great kit, I think everyone would opt for the great kit no matter what. I don't think they lost the creativity in that aspect, but I'm not going to hold it against them for reusing animations, given that sometimes a free-to-play character is just, it's really just the gem that they're giving out to you. Sometimes the free-to-play characters have new animations as well. It's not very often, but it does exist. I think 21, Kakarot Goku, trying to remember some other ones. It's just very hard because a lot of free-to-play characters don't make the most impressive impression to you. But I think what they're doing with free-to-play characters is okay. I don't think they lost creativity, but I want them to maintain and consistently improve on these free-to-play characters. Android 18 is the ultimate example of a fantastic free-to-play character, and it shows that they're not incompetent. They are capable of making a free character actually good. So I think we should all strive for free-to-play 18 being the benchmark and expecting greater from that character. Like the free-to-play Goten is an example. A lot of people actually ripped on me for saying that, free-to-play Goten is just a decent character. He's still just a decent character. Nobody uses him. When you look at the free-to-play 18, she's actually used on Majin Buu Saga team and teams and Android teams because she's actually good. She offers more than just one individual thing. Goten, it really is just the removing the buff effects and having a little bit of sponging, but outside of that, his drawbacks don't make up for some of the pros that he has. I would rather a character be diverse and able to do so many more things in one singular niche thing that they excel at. I think everyone should be expecting more anyways. But yeah, I think Legends Road should get some more love. They talked about that Buu Saga, Super Saiyan Gohan getting a Zenkai. They let us 14-star him, and then it just went poof. Anyways, next question. Bedhead asks, would you have less of an issue with hybrids if their viable units weren't exclusively Gohans? And if so, what hybrid units would you actually want to see this year? Personally, I'm hoping for Tag Goten and Trunks from the Bio Broly movie sometime soon. Yes, actually. I think Legends needs to remember that there are a whole bunch of other hybrid Saiyans that exist. I'm surprised we haven't seen any Trunks characters. And I think part of the annoyance for me is just, if you've been playing this game from the very start, and, you started out, 2018 in March, April, May, June, I don't know. Since the very beginning till now, virtually every Gohan has just been better. They've just always been really, really good. And that's fine, but eventually it gets annoying when you can see the clear favoritism for one specific character. I already know some people are going to argue that isn't true. It is true. Every time Gohan has an opportunity to have a premium character, they just feel like they're cut from a different cloth. They're given some sort of premium treatment. They just seem to be better than everybody else. And it gets annoying. It just gets annoying to see the bias. I don't know how to explain it. It's like in boxing. If there's one particular boxer that should clearly lose, is getting far more damage, is getting knocked down, but still wins unanimous decision, you're like, what the hell, man? That's not right. It's the same way here. You can tell that the bias is there, and it sometimes annoys you because you can tell that there's some favoritism for the character. Red Beast Gohan, Blue Beast Gohan, Ultra Gohan, FSK. People may not remember the original Purple Super Saiyan 2 Gohan with the green 16 and the infinite sidestep combo potential. It's never ended. It's always been that a Gohan has been miles above better than every other character, and it just gets annoying to see, oh, it's that guy, here we go, that character that's going to be overpowered. It's like that, you know, like the bad guy in a show that where the actor is fantastic at being the bad guy and you purposely hate or get annoyed at that character. That means they're a great actor, but at the same time, it's like that's your feeling towards it. Show other Hybrid Saiyans some love, but more importantly, stop overdoing it with Gohans. It's kind of annoying. For the tag Goten and Trunks, sure, why not? I think it'd be cool. Bio Broly movie specifically, a bit of an interesting choice, but why not? I'm all for it. Zeno Dark asks, are you planning to do videos for Sparking Zero? Yes, Sparking Zero will be on the main channel, but I will be a tiny bit late to getting content out for Sparking Zero day one. I think Sparking Zero comes out October 10th, and I'm actually not even going to be home. One of my best friends is getting married, and I would much prefer hanging out with the homie, being there on a special day. I apologize for being a couple days late. I think you guys would understand. But yes, Sparking Zero will be on the main channel, and we will be streaming it plenty. Also, rate the cat. 10 out of 10 cat. Beautiful cat. Nike asks, I know you have mentioned why you haven't revealed your face before due to work contracts and stuff, but after all that is over, when do you think you would reveal your face? Any specific year or hint anything works? How much money do you spend per month on DBL? That's the thing. It's a bit complicated. There's the work obligations, but at the same time, I do appreciate privacy. I kind of like just being anonymous, and I also would not want other people to know what I'm doing. I haven't told anyone that I do this. There's maybe one or two very, very, very close people to me that know that I do this, but otherwise I've pretty much kept it down low. I don't feel like it's something that I should say. In terms of how much money you spend per month on DBL, it really depends. I spend the least amount possible, so for one copy. But if there's a collaboration with another creator, naturally I just have to spend more. That's what the content is. Typically it's around maybe per month. I think it's around 200 to 300 per month, which is still a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I don't think anyone should be spending that much, but for the sake of the purposes that I'm doing, where it's always showing the new characters, making teams on the new characters, summoning on the new characters, where a lot of the content stems from having to have every character, that's how much I typically spend. If I was to try to max out every single character, I'm sure it's a lot more, but my objective is to spend the least amount possible while accomplishing the most possible. Does that make sense? If there's a collaboration, then obviously I just have to spend more because that's what the collaboration is going to demand. We're summoning together my video, their video, whether it be working with Nano or Diddy or Slay or somebody where it's like you summon it, you use it kind of thing. The objective is always just to spend the least amount possible. If there's a month where I get very, very unlucky, it takes me 40 to 50k CC to get the newest character, then obviously that average amount goes up significantly. That's just the way it is. My objective is to spend the least amount possible, get the most possible. It's always just after one copy. I'm not one to care for maxing out characters, so it's a couple hundred a month. 8town asks, how do you feel about the current direction Dragon Ball Legends is going? I think Legends is in this weird rut where they are making problems and selling solutions, and I don't think it's something they can move back from, because this isn't a game that will ever nerf a character. Does that make sense? I think right now these counter gauges only exist because they gave every single character cover nullification from the easiest ways possible. So they had to have a way to stop your opponent from being able to combo, right? Before, it used to be, if you remember around the 2nd year anniversary when Vegito Blue dropped, cover change units were rare because cover nullification was also rare. We had, I think Purple Zamasu is an example of a character that had it. Vegeta Blue had it for his blast card. Around that time, there weren't a lot of cover change units, but soon afterwards, we started to get more because characters started to power creep their combo potential. Card draw speed, I get a card after doing this, stuff like that. And then we saw more cover change units. And then in order to power that, to counter that, they made more cover nullification units. And then to change that, they made more characters with card draw speed reduction, card reduction, key reduction. And then they started to introduce characters that have, key reduction immunity or card destruction immunity and level 2 card draw speed characters. And then to power creep that, they had to make counter gauges because it's the only way to stop it. So that's where we are right now. Counter gauges only exist because they went too far with making characters too strong. They have too much card draw speed, too much key recovery, too much cover nullification for far too many easy ways. That's why when people say, I want a character with a unique gauge locking, I don't see that happening ever. Because as it stands right now, counter gauges are the only way that they can think of in order to really pause a long combo. We're kind of in a one-shot meta right now, and I think we are quickly switching to defensive characters are sort of eclipsing the power creep by introducing, if I fall below a certain amount of health, I heal a ton, and I also remove buff effects from heavy moves. That's what they're doing right now. If you look at the, Ultimate Gohan, he kills a bunch of cards and your key. He removes buff effects, and when you go for a special move or any heavy hitting move, he heals a ton of health. That's their new defensive gimmick. If you look at Evil Boo, it's the same thing. As HP falls below a certain threshold, he heals a ton. He also reduces key. He makes costs go up. He can kill cards. It's the same idea. I think Raid Shenron, for him, it's proccing paralysis, but he's more of like an RNG demon. But you can see where I'm going right now. They are selling you solutions, but also making their own problems. So I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like they're kind of in like this infinite circle that is just a given when it comes to a gacha game. I'm not particularly fond of it, but what can they do to go backwards at this point, right? They're kind of stuck. I'm not fond of it, but what are they supposed to do? I don't really know what gimmick we're supposed to go past with UG4's unique gauge, but I sure as hell don't expect them to do unique gauge locking. I don't think that's a thing. WazDoc says, if we did get an Ultra Super Saiyan 3 Goku, what would you want from him? Like animations, kit-wise, saga, what would be ideal for you? I would love for the first introduction to Super Saiyan 3 to be the first Ultra. I just think it's the most appropriate. I think that fight has some really awesome animations. In terms of kit, Legends has this thing where they keep making every Ultra have some very, very annoying gimmick. I don't want an annoying gimmick. I'm completely fine with him just being a offensive demon, meaning he has the assault unique gauge where every time he lands a card, it fills a unique gauge, and when it's full, it depletes and he earns something from it. I'm of the opinion that I would like for it to either, get Vanish, or he draws a blue, and when he uses the blue card, he destroys a certain amount of cards to get Vanish back. I was always particularly fond of that. Yeah, I like characters that reward you for playing well and allow you to stay on the field. Not from like AoE green card or I have a unique gauge that counters everything. I mean, like, you time your side steps, you're catching your opponent off guard, you're making really good reads on what they're going to do, and in doing so, you are, you know, leveling up the character and they get a unique gauge to get your vanish back, rinse and repeat kind of thing. That would be the ideal for me. Platinum asks, would it be okay for you to use more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon soundtracks in your videos? Of course. I'm glad you guys like the more calm, tuned Pokemon music when it comes to doing breakdowns and discussion videos, because I think it's appropriate. I think, you know, super amped up Dokkan music when you're doing the breakdown doesn't really make sense because you're just talking and reading, and I think it's a good theme. Yellow Not Mellow asks, what are some of your favorite older videos on your channel? Oh man. Before I did Legends videos, I did Counter-Strike videos, and I had the corniest edits on those. It was so silly. I used to think I was so good with getting, you know, like an ace with an op, or killing 3 people with the XM1014, or I also made a little montage where I was playing with one of my friends. We were playing Battlefield 1, and it was just a total meme video where a bunch of hilarious skits were happening, you know, just typical Battlefield shenanigans where things are blowing up, a plane kamikazes into you, you know, I C4 a Jeep and the guy drives it into the enemy tank and we blow it up. Just crazy shenanigans like that. Those are some of my favorite older videos. But my favorite Legends video is back when Goten dropped, LF Goten. I think the blue Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan, and the yellow Broly movie Goku were all on one Step Up banner. That is probably my favorite summon video because that was the first time I did commentary. I was really scared to use my voice. For some reason, I think I sound like a nincompoop, some dope. I think I sound very funny, and people actually received it quite well. They said, hey, you have a pretty cool voice. I think you should do commentary a lot more. But I was also nervous. It was very hard to start doing commentary because if you really think about it, I'm just in a room talking to my phone. It took a while for me to switch my mentality to this is a recording that gets listened to people. I had to shift my mentality to make my brain think I'm talking to you guys, my audience. At the very second of me recording, I had to think of it as I'm speaking to an audience. I have people that want to listen to what I'm saying. But when I started, it was very weird. And my brother and I shared a room when I was doing this recording. And I remember talking to him and I was saying, like, you know, a lot of people were saying I should do commentary. I'm worried I'm going to sound weird. And he gave me a lot of reassurance. He was saying, you know, oh, you're going to be fine. You sound great. You can go ahead and do it. Don't even think I'm here. You know, you got this. And I remember every time I tried doing commentary or starting my recording, I kept messing up because I felt so weird. 3 to 4 seconds in, I remember I would try to be like, you know, what's going on, you fam? And I'm like, oh, I sound like such a fool. What am I saying? And then I think I included this part where I messed up maybe 6 or 7 times in a row. And my brother is like, oh, just go in there and say, oh, you know, it's your boy. Just like something like that. And I included that in the video because I thought it was a funny moment between he and I. Go right to the summons. Be like, yo, it's your boy. But that's one of my favorite videos. First time doing commentary, just memeing it up, and my brother's in the background just reassuring me that I'd be okay. That's one of my favorite ones. I think you guys will start looking for it, but it's the LF Goten summons. I think at the very beginning, you'll hear what I'm talking about. It's so silly, I swear to God. Backflip asks, what is the schedule gonna look like when Sparking Zero comes out? This is gonna be a tough one because you know, truth has always pushed me to uploading different kinds of content on this channel, but I've always been someone that leans to the side of caution for things. I would rather be more cautious and safe than be a little bit risky and adventurous with things. And when it comes to YouTube, it's always so complicated, you know, it's very unforgiving when you try to step outside of your niche. So when it comes to Sparking Zero, I don't know how I'm going to introduce it. I was thinking, you know, it would be something that we stream, we all hang out and play together, And if I can fortunately work with an editor, we take the highlights of that and we put it on the main channel. Just have some fun miming it up, some great battle moments, something like that. That's what my plan is. I don't know if I would set it to a specific schedule. It would be cool if I could maintain 2 uploads every day on the channel, one Sparking Zero, one Legends. But I, you know, knowing me and how busy my schedule is, I don't think that's going to be realistic. So maybe a Sparking Zero video every couple days, just so it's fresh and fun. I just think it'd be a fun, you know, new content to have, and fingers crossed you guys are all here for it. You know, the ultimate goal for a content creator is that you gravitate past the game that you grew your channel on. Does that make sense? There's going to be a percentage of my subscribers that are here for Legends videos, and then there's going to be a percentage of people that are here for me. It doesn't matter what I play. It could be, you know, Teletubbies The Grand Adventure, and you guys would be like, hey, if Rai's playing Teletubbies, I'm here to watch it. As long as it's something that's what every content creator tries to gravitate towards, where you want to eventually move past the game and just be a creator that plays whatever you want. That's what my hope is. The hope is that ends up being a bigger percentage versus the latter, and yeah, I'm hoping that works out. So the schedule is every couple of days, maybe get a Sparking Zero video in there. I also don't want to overwork my editors, of course, if I ever get a chance to work with one. Hyler321 says, here's something I wish to ask. What's your favorite trait for the Legends character? For example, hits time skip or MUI's Ultra Instinct trait. For me, I think the Boo Bros preparation mode is sick. That is such a cool mechanic if you think about it. You got a tag switch character where in the back end you do a do or die moment where you buy yourself time to get an awesome finishing move. I'm so disappointed that the character is not impressive, because when you look at the character for what it is, when you look at it for character models, when you look at it for voice lines, when you look at it for animations, when you look at it for the new mechanic they introduced, they are such a cool character. They're such a cool character. They're just not good. Doesn't that stink? Every aspect of the character is great. They were only let down by their kit, and that's so disheartening. I don't know. I don't know. Vegeta encouraging Goku to power up and get the special move ready. Goku tells him not to die. That's such a do or die moment, and the character stinks. Doesn't that suck? That sucks so much, but that's my favorite aspect. I love the preparation mode. I think it's so cool. I think they could easily do that for 100,000 different things, similar to what Dokkan did. They could do a Super Saiyan 3 Goku and a Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, where in the end they do the Spirit Bomb as the LF, as opposed to Transcendent Kamehameha. Or they could do the same thing for GT, where Kid Goku finally does Universal Spirit Bomb against the Mega Shenron, just stuff like that. I think the premise is super cool. I like the preparation mode gimmick. Best Degree asks, do you think the Dragon Ball The Breakers is better than Fortnite? No, I don't. I wish it was for Iron Kane's sake. I really wish the best for the homie, but I'm gonna be realistic here. BlazyBoy05 asks, what workout do you recommend for someone who can't access a gym or gear? Hey man, at that point, you can do calisthenics. Calisthenics is great, and I highly recommend you just use, you know, Google to find out a progression system, because you know, tons of people have done it for the longest time, you know, training with just their body weight in order to get size and strength. And honestly, calisthenic strength works so much more beyond just traditional bodybuilding strength, because you become the master of your own body weight. You know, if you see someone being able to do muscle ups, or if they're able to do planks or dragon flags, you know that this is a guy that's so in tune with their body, they're going to be able to transfer over this strength into so many different aspects of life. I think calisthenics is such a great way to build yourself up. So, you know, it's a lot of it is going to be through endurance, but the different ways of making it more difficult is all about manipulating leverages. You know, if you do push-ups, there's diamond push-ups, and then there's push-ups where your elbows are closer in, you form a diamond. Same idea with pull-ups, wide grip pull-ups, muscle ups, chin ups, stuff like that. So I would say try to find a good calisthenics program. I myself don't do calisthenics outside of just traditional pull-ups, because that's just not the path that I chose. But because okay, I can't really recommend anything on that front. I don't know enough about it, but I would recommend using some online resources to find it out, because there's a ton of people out there that definitely can steer you the right way. Chad Toki88 asks, how do you stay civil in your videos and not just go full on rage mode when the opponent starts doing some silly tricks? I think the most important thing to remember is that it's just a game. I think that's a big part of it. I try to remember that, you know, at the end of the day, Legends is just a game on your phone. It's not even supposed to be taken that seriously. You know how Sparking Zero says they're not really gonna go for true balance because some characters are supposed to be overpowered? People come to terms with that and just acknowledge, like, yeah, I guess that's fine, because that's the core essence of what the series was. They didn't really care about balance. It was all about that guy, yeah, he should be overpowered. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, yeah, he should be overpowered. Once you come to terms with the facts that a PvP gacha game is always going to have some characters that are just overpowered and broken and better than other characters, you just don't let it bother you that much. It's just the truth of the matter. I'm not gonna, you know, pull my hair out if I'm using, you know, second year anniversary characters and I fight, you know, 14-star fusion warriors. It is what it is. I try not to let it bother me. Legends, at the end of the day, is supposed to be a game that you play when, you know, when you're taking a dump, when you're waiting for chicken nuggets in the oven. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be like some 10-15 minute game that you don't let bother you. That's why I'm able to keep everything so civil, because I don't want to say I don't care. I just don't see, it just doesn't pull that kind of reaction out of me, because it's just not that important. It is what it is. It's just a game. Try to have fun with it. And if I ever get to a point where I know I'm not having fun anymore, I just put it down. That's why you don't see me pushing for God ranks. Why you don't see me, you know, pushing for godly equips. I try not to make it an obligation and just make it a game, because at the end of the day, you're just supposed to be having fun with it. Once you start introducing those requirements to yourself, oh, I have to hit godly every season, or I have to make sure everything's perfect, eventually it starts becoming more of a chore and obligation and no longer just a game. So I just have fun with it. I try to stay, you know, keep it and just chalk it up as it is what it is. If I lose to 14-star fusions, or, you know, UG4 gets 50,000 green cards in a row and blue cards, and my Rising Rush gets gas and they land too, well, that's just the way the game is. It's meant to have RNG, but the guy that has the newest characters is going to be subjected to less RNG. It is what it is. A Serious asks, do you play Counter-Strike? Yes, I used to play a ton of CSGO. I think I have like 1,000 hours in that game. I hit global. I had a lot of fun. I think I've said the story before, but I ended up quitting Counter-Strike because I remember, I think all CS players will know what I'm talking about, but I remember I ran into someone that would only be using a Deagle, and the Deagle is a good weapon in Counter-Strike, but it's a very skill-based weapon, and if you're not good with nailing your headshots, then you shouldn't be using the Deagle at all. And I remember my ally was not doing well with the weapon, and I would say, like, hey, you want to just take an op if you're all about one-shotting people? The op is a sniper rifle. And my other teammates were saying, like, hey, man, you mind picking up the slack? And this guy went out his way to be super toxic. He called himself Wandig, just making a play on the word Wandig, implying one-shotting people, but he was the furthest from it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is it for me anymore. I'm already hitting global. I don't care anymore. So I just quit. I just stopped playing. I'm not for all that toxicity. Forget it. I don't care anymore. So I did play Counter-Strike for a long time, but I quit, and it's been several years since then. Chaz asks, what was the most disappointing summonable unit on their release you ever used in Legends? Was it the Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta from the 4th year anniversary? Was it Ultra Broly? Was it LF Super Vegeta? Or was it LF Goku and Frieza? Without a doubt, it's that Vegeta. The Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is the epitome of trash unit. That guy is so bad. I was still blown away that this is a 1% character for the 4th year anniversary, but that character encapsulates the entire 4th year anniversary. Even though Dragon Fist dropped in that anniversary, as a whole, that anniversary was terrible. MUI gave birth to one of the most annoying characters, one of the most annoying metas ever, with the, you know, Purple Whis, MUI, and Android 17 and 18. Without a doubt, one of the worst metas I've personally ever dealt with. I think the one step-up banner per each part was terrible as well. The whole thing was crap. The whole thing was crap. I thought it was terrible, and that Vegeta, it perfectly encapsulates all of that. Where he's crap, that anniversary is crap. We don't speak about it. That Vegeta should have got a Zenkai literally 24 hours after he released, but they just put him in the mud. I don't think they care about him. Pandupsco asks, Rai, hope you're having a great day. Hopefully you are having a great one too. What was your favorite meta or just a time period in Legends? Two of the fond memories I had in terms of the meta for me was when Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and Super Baby 2 dropped. I thought that was great. The GT team was really fun to fight. That step-up banner was really good because all the characters were 1%. It got a little bit hectic when Regeneration saw a lot of buffs and they basically would never die and every match would go to timer counts. And the other meta that I liked was the Saiyan meta. When LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku got a Zenkai Awakening, we had Angel Vegeta. I like that one a lot. Mainly because when it came to defensive gimmicks, when it came to offensive gimmicks, I thought overall, it was pretty fair. Angel Vegeta was tanky and he took away ki, but if you did a drop combo, he wasn't taking away your ki. LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku was tanky, but you had to make sure you didn't swap very often to power up his ultimate. Those two were very, very tanky. The only thing that I obviously would get annoyed with is LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku's green card, because it allowed you to combo into it. And at the time, there weren't crazy amounts of cover change units, so I could see that being absolutely annoying. But otherwise, in terms of grievances, in terms of things that annoyed us, in terms of things that we just didn't like, or cheesiness or AoE greens and all this other nonsense, I thought that was the most tame period in the game. No one was just getting one shot left and right. Nobody was getting cheesed by AoE greens. Nobody was getting cornballed by unique gauges that would just take away, your ability to fight. A lot of the matches were a lot of back and forth that lasted a while, but not like Prime Regeneration, where every match guaranteed went to timer counts, or you had to kill someone with a rush. I thought it was about as tame a meta as it probably could get. Obviously, I'm biased because LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku got his Zenkai Awakening at the time. But in terms of, when you look at the whole spectrum of all the metas that we've dealt with, all the overpowered teams, how the #1 team gapped every other team, all this other craziness, I thought the Saiyan meta and that GT meta at the time was about as tame as it could possibly get. I guess Legends Festival last year, before Ultra UI drop, was another good example of that. We had Beast Gohan, we had Evo Ken. This allowed a bunch of characters to do pretty well. Movie Saga was great, Universe Rep was great, Hybrid Saiyans were doing pretty good, Saiyans were doing all right. Like as a whole, the androids were doing pretty good too. We had a competent amount of meta teams. It was when Ultra UI dropped that ruined that. That's how I felt with that meta too. I don't know. I thought those are my favorite metas at the time. O Grand Jaipi asks, when did you decide to do content creation and why Legends? When it shuts down, do you pretend I'm guessing he says when. And when Legends shuts down, do you pretend on doing more stuff on the main channel? I know you have a secondary in Twitch, but still. So content creation never became a thing that I actively pursued. It all started when Rhymestyle was playing Legends. He was doing a showcase on the Demon King Piccolo. It was the first or second step-up banner ever that came out in Legends, with the Red Hercule and Demon King Piccolo. I remember I summoned for that. I got the Red Hercule. I didn't get Demon King Piccolo. And I was already watching Rhyme and Nano for Dokkan stuff, but Rhyme was also covering Legends. And he was doing showcases and he covered the Demon King Piccolo, and I was thinking, oh great, I can't wait to see this because I don't know what the character is like. One of the last matches is against me, and I don't even remember what was going on. I think I must have been using the bathroom and I was just casually playing, and I must have ran into him but didn't recognize him, but I got stomped out. It wasn't a close match at all. Absolutely doo-dooed on. And I remember I was like, oh damn, that's pretty bad. Okay. Obviously, I don't want this to happen again. How can I get better? And I remember I pitched the question to Reddit, and I think I got some suggestions that said, you know, a good way is to record your fighting and then upload it, and people can give you feedback, or you yourself can watch it and be like, oh, you know, when I did this, I know I can do better by doing this. You know, you're able to capture your own mistakes and you know better for next time. Eventually, that garnered an audience of people, and it just kept growing from there. And then I found myself enjoying having an audience, interacting with people, talking about the game. And as the game grew, we grew, and it kind of just went on from there. When Legends shuts down, I guess the hope is that we'd be able to transition to another game. You know, Sparking Zero comes out at the time, but maybe we'll find something else to fill the void. And honestly, worst case, if that's just it and the Legends channel is all I got and I'm not a good creator that can transition to other games, then I'll probably park it there. I've always kept my 9 to 5 for a reason, and I would be content with, you know, being able to say, yeah, I had a really great channel and I had a really great time and a really great audience, and that's just the way it is. The YouTube game, eventually, everyone hits an end goal. Everyone hits a finish line, and if that's my time, then that's my time. I'll be proud that I got to as far as I got. BJNGHP asks, what's up, Rai? Hope you're doing well. Main channel question, will Sparking Zero be a staple on the channel once it comes out in October? I think it will be something that we feel out. I'll make a couple of videos. We see if people are with it, if they find it cool, if they find it fun, then yeah, for sure, I'm up for it. Second channel question, can you please revisit Days Gone for a playthrough? Oh man, I'm still so sad that I never did the second channel while playing Days Gone, because Days Gone was such a gem. For those of you that haven't played it, I really recommend you play that game. It is so good. That game got ripped on by reviewers, and it really stung the studio that made the game, and that upset me so much because I was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna play it anyways because I like the premise of big open world zombie game, and it was so much more than what they talked about. They ripped it for certain bugs, but the game came out with a day one patch that pretty much dealt with all the bugs already, and the game was completely fine, and I never ran into any of the issues that they talked about. And when it came to the story, the depth of the characters, the world building, I realized that I really enjoy that game. So I wish I captured that playthrough, because it's one of the few games that I actually trophied because I enjoyed it that much. And next part of the question, outside of YouTube question, what's a country you would like to visit that you've never been? I don't know. Probably Japan, honestly. I know that's like such a stereotypical answer because, you know, everyone wants to go to Japan, but I think for me, I would genuinely like to go there. You know, I see it's an opportunity to hang out with some other creator friends that are living there, but also because I think it would just be an interesting place to be. That's probably the first one that jumps out to me. I've done a little bit of traveling, and I've already, you know, checked off the places that I've wanted to go to, but the next one on the list would definitely be Japan. CES Trada 21 asks, how's the cut going? Fitness update, any plans to travel, favorite cheat meal? So in terms of the cut, it's going pretty good. My big issue, for anyone that isn't aware, is I've kind of been cutting for a little while, but it seems, oh my god, this story goes back really, really long. I've talked about fitness on this channel before, whether it be a summon video or a Q&A or whatever, my New Year plans, whatever. It's all a balancing game. I sometimes lose quite a bit of sleep. When it comes to dieting, fitness, cutting, bulking, building muscle, losing fat, making sure you don't lose any muscle when you're on a deficit, it's all making sure that you don't take anything too extreme. I've been taking my cut very slowly because I know that my recovery is hindered because I have to work a lot. So my cut has been slow. But at this point, like, the cut is going good because I've tuned things knowing what my workload looks like. Like, if you know you work a ton, you average less than 8 hours of sleep, then you know that your deficit should be smaller so that your body still has the necessary energy and nutrients to recover. you know, you lower your volume a little bit with training so that you don't strain your body too much either, just to make sure that if you only have 5 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep is enough to recover from all the work that you're doing. So when it comes to the cut, it's been a little bit longer than I'd like it to be, but at least it's been going right because I've adjusted things knowing how my life is. So the cut is going good. I should be done in October, and when October rolls around, I'm going to be going on a bulk. So I'm going to go on a surplus of calories so that I can build muscle tissue and strength again. My ultimate goal is to beat my pre-pandemic strength. I'm still so salty about that. Oh my God. I was at my strongest. I was so happy with my size, and the pandemic happened and the gyms closed, and I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna build a home gym, but I live in an apartment, so that obviously wasn't gonna work. And the fact that every single piece of gym equipment was so overcharged because they knew people were building home gyms, that out of principle, I didn't do it. I tried doing calisthenics outside, but even parks were closed down. And I remember I was doing chin-ups when I was outside, and this old couple was like, we're gonna call the police if you're out here because they're closed. You know what I mean? You run into neighbors that are just like that, the Karens or whatever. So I couldn't even do that. I tried my best to maintain my strength. I was like squatting rice bags, doing lunges with those, doing weighted pull-ups at the end of my table. I did everything I could, but I couldn't maintain my strength. And then when the gyms opened again, your body has muscle memory. You will rapidly get your strength and size back. It happens. It's easier for you to get back the strength and size that you lost than it is to earn it for the first time. My issue was everything was going great now that the gyms are finally open, but I got a little too hasty and I ended up herniating a disc in my squats. I was so destined to push myself to get my size back that I took it too far, and that was such a huge stop on the gains. Like the pain was so bad. I couldn't put on socks. I could barely shower. You know how difficult it was to get off the toilet too? You know, like if your legs fall asleep, imagine your legs falling asleep while you're using the toilet, and then when you try to get up, you can't bend your hips as much or get up safely as you normally would, simply because just getting up at the slightest angle is enough for your back to seize up. It was gruesome. It was awful. It took forever to recover from that. That is all to say the cut is going good. I can't wait for the bulk. So that covers fitness update. Any plans to travel? If you guys are watching this, odds are I am in Italy right now. It's going to be a beautiful place, lots of history, beautiful towns, beautiful city, very, very welcoming, kind people, beautiful food. I'm hoping it'll just be a great place to reset, recover, rejuvenate. I don't plan on training during that week that I'm gone, just to give my body an opportunity to recover, get plenty of rest, be out in the sun, have some really nice, nutritious food, just relax a bit, unwind, recover, come back. And favorite cheat meal? It is so hard to say a favorite cheat meal. If all my lifters know this, your favorite cheat meal is the craving you have at the moment of your cheat meal. I'm always down for like burgers, pizza. My biggest weakness though has to be pastries. I honestly could survive off of croissants for the rest of my life. I don't know what it is about them, but they're just too good. I would go to war for a croissant. I love croissants. They're so good. So maybe a croissant's my favorite cheat meal. I don't know. Either way, I hope that answers all the questions. Hopefully your cut is going good, Christian. I see your comments all the time where you're saying like, perfect time to drop a video. I can watch it during my cardio. I know how you feel, brother. I know what it's like. You got to distract your brain on the cardio. So I do appreciate all the support, and I hope your fitness goals are going good as well. All right, I think that's it, everyone. I think that's all the questions. A lot of the other questions that remain are pretty much the same thing. So hopefully I answered everything. Appreciate you guys dropping your questions, and hopefully we do another Q&A. And yeah, there's some more life developments just to keep things interesting and keep you guys in the loop. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, peace.